Thanks for tuning in to You See Me, focusing on the battle of self-love, acceptance, abuse, spirituality, and much more. Your host, Tina Wynn, will be sharing various ways and strategies that she used to overcome grief, addiction, and depression. You See Me is a self-expressed term Tina uses as a way of making people see the real you. For people to see you, you must first see yourself.
Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of You See Me. I am your host, Tina Wynn, and I have with me no other than Quita, my alter ego. And in light of Mental Health Month, I would like to talk to you guys about our mindsets. What is your mindset? See, because your mental will ultimately affect every other area of our lives. A lot of times we spend life taking things in, but we don't let it back out. And our body works like any other input-output system. What we take in, eventually we must let it out or it will build up. I work in healthcare, and you don't know the number of people I see lose life because they just physically cannot let out the things that we take in. But when we think of our mindsets, what is your mind focused on? What is it that we absorb into our minds? Because what is the purpose of living if we're not going to live? If you're not going to live life and you're going to sit and you're going to become a product of your circumstance, then what is the purpose of living? And a lot of times that's exactly what we do to ourselves. So Quita being Quita, Tina being Tina, yeah, see me, I mentor. And in the process of me mentoring, it laid in my spirit. Remember, we talked about spirits last week, guys. My spirit talks to me, and spiritually, it leads me to helping others. But prior to me being able to extend myself to help others, I have to be there for Tina. I have to show up for Tina. Tina's mindset has to be right. Tina's mental have to be right. Tina has to be okay. The worst thing that you can do to a person is open a womb and leave it open to bleed all over the place. You don't want to get bloody in the process, so again, this is why in healthcare, they tell you wear your PPE, your protective wear. Make sure that you are okay before going in to try to treat somebody. And a lot of times when it comes to the mind and it comes to being there for people, we expose people to some thoughts that they just not ready to handle. We open up these mindsets and we put things in people's mind and they don't know how to process it. So what I've heard a lot of in mentoring and in counseling these last couple of days was, I don't know how to be alone. And it puzzled me because what is it about self that we don't know how to sit there with self? What is it? You have to ask yourself, what is it about me that I don't like being with me? See, because I want this person around me and I want that person around me. And we spend a lifetime feeling like we need people to be there for us when we don't even know how to be there for ourselves. How could you be there for us? How do you know what you want? How do you know the type of person that you want around you if you don't know you? You have to see you, you have to understand you and know exactly what it is that you want because you attract what you are. So when we say, oh, this person is unloyal and this person abandoned me and that's because that's what you're attracting. That's where your mindset is at. That's that's what you're taking in. So that's what you're letting back out. See, and the problem is a lot of times we take a lot of stuff in and we don't let it back out. Quita used to do that. Quita used to take people in, and I took people in because I didn't know Tina. So anybody that came along that was willing to be my friend, that was willing to give me their time, willing to give me their attention, willing to sit with Quita long enough. Quita was open. Quita allowed that person in. And what I did is I let them in. And then when the next person came along, and I just kept piling on spirits, because remember, we don't deal with flesh, we deal with spirits. I'm piling all these spirits on. So then when my mind is under attack by all these spirits, now I'm in this depression, and now I'm claiming. See, Tina, she doesn't claim depression. Yes, there are days that I am down. There's days that life gets the best of me. There are days that I just want to be at my end. But then I remember who I am and whose I am. Why do we allow the embarrassment of our circumstance to take complete control over us? If we get evicted, we walking around with our head held down low. You know how many people have never had an apartment to get evicted from, and you walking around embarrassed instead of counting your blessing, saying, you know what, God, you gave me an apartment to be evicted from. And if you gave me that apartment to be evicted from, you'll bless me with something even better. See, because sometimes God don't just take things away from us to make us suffer. He takes things away from us to see our gratitude, that we appreciate having it, that we value what we truly had, or the minute that is snatched away, are we going to crumble and fall apart and say, oh God, this and oh God, that? We have to be careful of what we put in our mind and what we say out of our mouths, because ultimately your thoughts, everything starts in the mind. We have to give more credit to our mind, because without the mind, the body doesn't live anyway. So we walking around feeding our flesh, feeding society, feeding circumstances, but we never stop to feed our mind. And then when we do stop long enough to feed our mind, what are we feeding our mind with? You know, Mother's Day just passed, and I could have sat in my misery. I could have sat in it. I was asked for a picture of my mom, and the minute that I realized, wait a minute, Tina, you don't have any pictures of your mother. See, the enemy tried to set in. But because Tina, y'all see me, is strong in who she is, she had to let Quita sit out. See, because Quita was ready to roll on the floor, cry, break down. And although I shed my couple of tears, I shed happy tears. Do you know that you could be sad without being sad? And I know that sounds a little bit crazy to y'all, and Tina's okay with that, because most times I do sound crazy to people, but you have to understand spirit to understand me, and what's understood don't need to be explained. But you can be sad without being sad. I was sad at the fact that me and my mom's time was cut short. But spiritually, I was sad to know that it took me so long to figure that out. So I was sad without being sad. And in the process of that, I allowed spirit to comfort me. See, because we have tools, guys. Are we using them? A lot of times we know our scriptures, we recite our scriptures, we read our Bible, but we don't apply them. What is the purpose of taking something in if you're not going to let it out? Why have all this useful information, all these scriptures, all these tools at my disposal, and then when I'm depressed or I'm sad or I'm facing something, I'm not going to use it? It's pointless. And that's what we do to ourselves. We say, oh, I want someone there for me, and I don't want to be depressed, and I don't want to be sad. But that's exactly what you're doing to yourself. Do you know that resentment is only things resent into your mind? Grief operates the same way. Pain operates the same way. Depression operates the same way. Our thoughts operate the same exact way. If we are focused on our situation, we're going to become our situation. So my mother died, and I allowed myself to sit in it. See, this life is not to live. You must move. You must be active. Living things are growing. They are moving. They are a plant. It's constantly moving, it's changing shape, it's redesigning itself. People are the same way. When we stop feeding ourselves and nourishing ourselves, we stop growing. And that's exactly what I did. I allowed myself to sit in that misery. And while I sat in that misery, I sat in depression. I sat in my thoughts. I sat in those feelings. It wasn't until I got up and made a move and transformed my mindset that I started to be okay with the loss of my mother, that I started to see myself, see the situation, see the circumstance, and see that I have no control. I could sit here and cry for the rest of my life. Is that ever, ever, ever going to bring my mother's flesh back? No, it's not. So why am I sitting here crying over something that's never gonna happen?
Hey, how you guys doing? This is Regina Hutt, the wellness practitioner at Empower Mornings. Join me every Monday at noon to work out with Regina on One Network.
It sounds so cold to some people when you tell them to just get over it, but that's how life works. You got to just get over it, because life is going to happen whether we want to or not. And I learned in this mentoring process, some people don't know how to get over. Some people have become so lost and so indulged in that thought that becomes their only thought. So if the thought of losing my mom becomes my only thought, what is it going to do? I will become enveloped in it. I will drown in it. Why? Because I'm not feeding my mind any other thought. And our minds have to be fed. Our minds have to absorb things in order for it to function. If your mind cannot take in anything, then you have a dead brain. And when people are brain dead, what does that mean? It means their body is here, but they're not. And that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a lot of bodies with mindless people, people who are not using the brain that's in them. Their thoughts are stuck on, oh, this happened to me and that happened. And you get the woe is me, the poor me people. Cry me a river. Cry me a river. Because, and it's not that Tina's cold-hearted. It's not that Tina's non-empathetic. Tina cares. Tina cares enough to the extent of knowing there's a way out. And when I tell people to get over it, I'm not saying it in a mean way. I'm saying it spiritually in the most lovingest, kindest way possible to let you know there is a way out. Anything that you think you went through, hi, y'all see me, I've been there, I've done that. I can't sit before you and tell you that, oh, it's going to get better if I don't know that it's going to. See, I walk in my knowing. I know that if I tell myself I'm not nothing, I'm not this, I'm not that, everything I tell myself I'm not, that's exactly what I'm going to be. My dad used to tell me, the minute that you hear a person say I don't, is everything that they do. You get the people, oh, I don't care. Oh, I don't feel nothing. You feel everything. That's why you're saying you don't, because you do. You do not want to feel. That's why you're saying you don't feel. You do not want to care. You do not want to be there. You do not want to heal. That's why you're saying you don't. Because anybody that do, they're not going to say anything at all. They're going to just let the process happen. And that's what I did, guys. I allowed myself to heal. I got tired of sitting in the thought of my mother not being there. I got tired of sitting in the thought of what my life could be. How could I know what my life could be if I'm just sitting in one spot thinking about it? A thought is not going to manifest itself unless you apply some type of action to it. And sitting in one spot ain't never got nobody nowhere but in one spot. You have to get up, you have to move a muscle, change a thought. We sit in our thoughts and we allow our thoughts to become us. And it's okay to sit in your thoughts, because Quita's always in her thoughts. Quita is a thought. Y'all see me. So I'm always in my thoughts, but it's the things that I'm thinking that keeps me prosperous. I think of heaven. I think of what my life is going to be like on the other side. What is going to be like when God finally positions me inside that mansion, and when he finally gives me my jag, and when he finally released my million. See, because you got to see it in order to perceive, in order to achieve it. Perceive it to achieve it. And I see all these things for myself, and I know that they're just waiting for me to get there. But I can't sit in one spot talking about, oh, well, I don't have the money in the bank now, and I don't have the car. I'm not going to ever get it sitting here talking about it. And that's where a lot of people get stuck. They get stuck on the thought. They get stuck talking. They don't ever put it into action. You're doing too much talking and not enough walking. And that's the reason you stuck in your thought. Because the time we're sitting and we keep going over the situation and over this, you ever met somebody that as soon as you approach them, they start telling you their whole life? They start in on a woe is me, the poor, in search of sympathy, that spirit that needs sympathy. It needs people to be there for it, because that spirit doesn't know how to operate alone. And when you find a spirit that doesn't know how to operate alone, it tells me one or two things. You don't know how to be there for yourself, because when you know how to be there for yourself, the people around you don't even matter. When you know how to be there for yourself, people are going to instantly show up for you. Why? Because they see you show up for yourself. People show up for Tina because they see Tina show up for yourself. As y'all know, I am a part of the Woman Empowered Network. Shout out to the Fab Five. Rev Pat, I watch her daily devotional every single morning because I show up for Tina. And it's not to downplay anything that these women have to say. I allow my spirit, because it's confirmation of things that spirit has already placed in me. It's confirmation of things. It reassures my word to me. It reassures the things that I need to be applying to Tina on a daily basis. And it's also a part of showing up for me. See, a lot of us, we can't make it because we don't know how to show up for others. Again, you got to see other people to see yourself.
The Audacity to Be Empowered is an anthology of 25 phenomenal women who overcame the things that were meant to hinder them, break them, block them, or destroy them. Here is a snippet from co-author Tina Wynn from her story entitled Learned Behaviors. Words only travel as far as we carry them. It is not the things in life that we hear or see that messes us up. It's the things we've listened to and focus our vision on, mainly our own inner thoughts and perceptions of reality. We can see one thing while everyone else sees something opposite. These are the things that cause the most damage to us. It's like trying to get steak from a pot in which you only put chicken. No matter what you do to it or how you stir the pot, you're left with that same old chicken. My mother always taught me it's not what they call you but what you respond to. Daddy taught me to believe none of what I hear and only half of what I see. When I decided to stop responding to all the names and things people called me other than the birth name I was given, my life began to change. Not a moment sooner but many later, I spent countless years trying to find myself by searching for me in others. Quick note: never try to make your insides match someone's out. Whenever I saw something wrong in someone or what I perceived as wrong, I wanted to fix it. Even as a young child, my sister and I would sneak clothes to school in our book bags to try and dress the kids who were less fortunate or had less than us. I wanted to fix everyone but Tina. Besides, nothing was wrong with me. As long as I helped others, I'd be fine. Big mistake. Why did I convince myself of this? Nothing was wrong with wanting to help people. Or was there? That's how it all started. For your copy of The Audacity to Be Empowered, visit https://TinaWynn.now.site.
And because we don't know, we feel like it's a competition if we show up. We're competing. No. By showing up for you, I'm showing up for me. By me waking up every morning and me tuning into my Powered Mornings and me doing my daily devotionals, that's Tina seeing Tina. That's Tina showing up for Tina. It ain't got nothing to do with the people on the other side. We fall into these depressive mindsets because we start focusing our thoughts on everything that everybody else is going to think. Oh, what are they going to think? And what are their thoughts? Why are you so focused on everybody else's thoughts when you can't even sort out your own thoughts? Start with self. And that's where we fall short, is because we want to skip over ourselves and jump straight on to the next person. We don't want, because it's easier to deflect than to reflect. Why look at me when I can look at you? But let me tell you the trick to deflecting. The only how I could see you is because you're a mirrored reflection of me anyway. We cannot see other people without seeing ourselves. You cannot go left without right. Again, we discussed this. Everything has its opposite. And the only how I can recognize a spirit that I don't like is because my spirit is the opposite of what it is that I don't like. So we cannot sit in these depressive mindsets. We cannot sit inside these depressive thoughts. If you are telling yourself that you ain't nothing, you ain't gonna be nothing. See, I tell myself I'm great, whether y'all see me or y'all don't see me, but clearly y'all see me and y'all gonna see me. I make myself be seen. When I walk into a room, oh, trust me, they gonna notice me. And it ain't because I look good. It ain't because I'm pretty. They're going to notice me because the God in me is so strong. That spirit in me is so magnificent. It's going to radiate. It is going to illuminate any room that I walk in. The minute I walk into a room, before I open my mouth, I'm already smiling. My spirit is telling people she's warming, she's accepting, she's a good person. And then to seal the deal, once they talk to me, the first thing, see, people used to always say, Tina, how you doing? And the first thing out my mouth would be fine. Until I broke down fine. Effed up, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. And that's exactly what I was. I was just fine. I was all of the above. I'm not fine no more. I am blessed. I am great. I am a child of God. I am created in his likeness. I am flawless. I am all the things that my word tell me I am. I am no longer what this world tell me I am, because I'm not of this world. My spirit is going back to its maker, and this flesh could stay here and y'all could do what y'all so well please with this flesh. These are the things that I tell myself. This is where my mindset is at. And as long as we tell ourselves positive things, we will attract. You are what you attract. We will, the laws of attraction. You have to tell yourself positive things. See, in the beginning of this process, Quita used to sit around in her depression, and she used to allow her situation to get the best of. And I would sit and I would have the nonstop obsessive compulsive thoughts over things that I was going through. And I would allow that one thought to take complete control over my entire being. And I would just sit and stay stuck inside that thought for days, for weeks. And where did it get me? It left me stuck exactly where I was. I became that thought. I thought I was nothing. I thought, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get a job, and I'm not going to get this, and I'm not. And guess what? I didn't get no job. I didn't get the house. I didn't get nothing because I was already telling myself that I wasn't. I get that with a lot of people before they even try. Nothing beats a fail like a try. And before they even try, oh, I already know I'm going to fail. Oh, yeah, you sure are, because you're already telling yourself that you are going to fail. Do you know that God said he only want to find us trying? Put that thought in your mind for today. I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to get it right. I don't have to do it the way the person next to me is doing it. God has my path. He knew my path before I got here. And he said, all I want to do is find you trying. And as long as I get up and try every day, I don't care if I mess up. I don't care if this one got this to say and that one got that to say, because it's what Tina said and it's what God said. God said, as long as you're trying and as long as you are applying these things that I'm giving you to your life and you trying to walk right. Listen, every day I'm a work in progress. Okay, Lord, today I didn't get it right. And before I close my eyes, I pray, Lord, please reveal to me what I didn't get right. Tell me what it is that I'm doing. Help me to stand out of my own way. Keep my mind fixated on you. Keep my thoughts on you. Do not let my thoughts go astray so that I can get it right, so that I won't keep making the same mistakes, so that I won't keep falling back into these same mindsets. What are we telling ourselves? What are you feeding your mind? What are you putting into your mind? I want everybody to go out and think about that. I want everybody to go out, see yourself, see someone else, and start telling yourself that I am somebody, even if you don't believe it. We do mirror talk on Woman Empowered with Sparkle. You got to stand in that mirror and see yourself. That's another thing Tina didn't own. Well, Quita didn't own. Tina owns a mirror. See, because there was one point Quita didn't like herself. Quita didn't want to look at herself. Quita didn't want to see herself. So Quita didn't look in the mirror. What? I can't wait to stand in the mirror today. I can't wait to see myself. I cannot wait to stand there and look at me. And guess what? As I stand in that mirror, guys, sometimes I cry. Sometimes I laugh. Sometimes I don't feel anything. I just stand there and absorb me. I stand here and just suck in Tina. I stuck in that abuse. I stuck in that trauma. I stuck in all the things that people said I wasn't. And then I blink my eyes, I look again, and I see me. And I see me. And I look at me and I say, yeah, I am. I was that promiscuous woman. I was that ghetto ratchet girl in the hood that did any and everything and went any and every way. And guess what? Hi, guys, y'all see me. I'm here to talk about it. I'm here to tell you about it. I'm here to help, hopefully, not allow someone else to go through it. See, because I don't give advice from a book. I don't give advice from things that I read or heard about. Anything you hear out of Tina's mouth is because Tina lived it. I can't tell you what it's like to be up at 3:30 in the morning, blowing up the dealer's phone unless I've been there. I can't tell you what it's like to have a dude beating me upside my head, but I'm still laying there making love to him unless I've been there. I can't tell you what it's like to raise a child on your own unless I've been there. See, these are all the things that I've been through. My life is an open book. Am I embarrassed? Heck no, I survived that thing. Am I ashamed? Nope, not even. Am I sitting in my guilt? No, I did it. And nothing that I say is going to make it be undone. Feeling guilty about it, beating myself up about it. How is that ever going to change what's already done? What's done is done, and we have to let what's done be done. The problem is we don't know how to be done. So that is my task for y'all for this week. I want y'all to learn how to be done. Keep your mindset on God. Keep your mindset on positivity. Keep your mindset that you are somebody. Go out, see yourself. Go out, see someone else. And most importantly, come back and see me and your girl, Quita. Thank you guys for joining me. Please come join me again. Until next time.